Hello and welcome to KMTV. My name is Nathan Charles, sitting in the presenter seat, and it's beautiful to be back again. 2024 is another day here in the United States of America, and we're looking at issues in Liberia. What are they for this new year? The new year fever is in. I hope most of you set your resolution and have your vision and goals written down. Topics we're looking at today on the Diaspora Talk. Looking at the transitional team meeting, they have been meeting with various stakeholders in different sectors in Liberia as the outgoing government turned over power to the incoming government of Joseph Human Burger. What have they been discussing? I will be looking at that. And also protests from rural fund employees or former employees or contractor. They have been staging protests throughout Monrovia since this new year. And also look at fire victims from Totoka Bong County. What has been the response from government partners and other organizations? We'll also be talking to Mr. Cuddy from the United Bong County Association in the USA. He will be chipping in joining the discussion later on the program, as well as Iman Dukle, who will also be sharing his thoughts on other issues in Liberia. This year, we tend to bring in people from all sector to form part of our panelist discussion. And the lead presenter, Cyrus McGill, will hopefully be joining us from somewhere in Minnesota. The inauguration fever is heating up in Liberia. What is it like? And we'll be talking about how Liberians are trooping in and how Liberians are cleaning up the city there in Liberia. Jackson George, welcome. Happy New Year to the Diaspora Talk.
Happy New Year, Nathan. Good to
And
see you.
happy belated birthday.
On my birthday, everybody's celebrating, so it's a good thing.
Yes, it's nice to see you and nice to be on the Diaspora Talk. Thanks again. We are back again this year. Let's take a few episodes. When we come back, we'll go straight into our discussion here. Let's go first with the National Rule Fund and other major issues in Liberia.
Jeremiah Kuhn, the president-elect Walker, Joseph Walker, and even the current president.
But they went against a mandate.
Because they went against a mandate that they shouldn't dismiss or employ anybody.
And they are
They shouldn't pay a certain amount.
They are budgeting.
But they are doing all of those things and they are trying to backdate a lot of things in there.
We will see you here tomorrow.
Of course, definitely.
You're coming here.
We will be here till the management meets with us. We need them to tell us why they dismiss us. Because the reason they state in our letter
Contradicts.
is contradicting.
And now reason, sir.
It contradicts.
And they didn't say it at all, so they need to
It
meet with us
contradicts
and
the
they
act
talk to us.
as an entity. It contradicts.
As far as we're
National Road
concerned,
Fund is not a
we
project.
are employees because we have worked with the entity for the period of 5
5
years.
years.
So we will come to work. If possible, we will sign in.
Yes.
Nobody will stop us.
Nobody.
The manager right now, before she became manager, she didn't have contract for 7 months.
Who signed a contract? She can say.
She didn't have contract for 7 months. She was still taking pay. Because you are misbehaving, the boss couldn't do anything about it. You are working on other things, making sure that the office become and autonomous. Nobody attack her. Nobody pull her down because she clean at that time. She was employee already. So why now? What changed? What make them better than us? What make the people she just brought in better than us who have served this institution for the period of 5 years? They are not. So we'll be here definitely. We'll be here tomorrow. The whole week in fact. In fact, we are here to work. We are here to work.
No question. Press statement for immediate release. January is carefully orchestrated and politically motivated disruption of its normal office activities on Tuesday, January 2nd, 2024 by a handful of former contractors along with serious unidentified individuals. The senior management team of the NRF informs the public that the politically driven disruption of the NRS offices during working hour is legally groundless and baseless, as the services of the former contractors were not terminated but rather logically come to an end due to the expiration of the contracts. The NRF issued the appropriate notices to the affected contractors months ago in accordance with specific stipulation of those contracts. The senior management team of the NRF is aware that given the political transition occurring in the country, unscrupulous individuals who want to seek political mileage are causing disruption and airing false information to the public. Nevertheless, the NRL remains resolute in its commitment to upholding the highest standards of professionalism as well as adhering strictly to all relevant laws and regulations. The senior management team of the NRL reaffirms its dedication to the effective administration of the National Road Fund of Liberia and assures the public of its unwavering commitment to the rule of law and excellence in all operational aspects. This statement is being issued by MFP Koga, Media and Communication Specialist. I thank you very much.
And that's it.
National Road Fund does, from my own point of view. The National Road Fund's financing road infrastructure. That's one of the things. The primary purpose of the National Road
Jackson, you've been off for some time, so probably you could start over. I think there was a glitch.
Fund delay. No, I was just trying to get the audience to understand what the National Road Fund, what the functions of the National Road Fund from my own point of view. Uh, the financing of road infrastructure. The primary purpose is to fund, provide sustainable and dedicated source of funding for the road project. They also collect revenue, and that revenue could be collected for maintenance and repairs of our existing roads. Another thing is that they look at maintenance and repair. So that body, all of our roads in Liberia, after they collect, they collect funds from the gas, fuel, vehicle registration. All of those things are part of registration. I don't know if they do that in Liberia, but fuel taxes, vehicle registration. We don't have tools, so but that's how they collect the funds to repair and maintain our roads. They can also do new road construction, bridges, overheads. Those are some of the things that they need to do. And then institutional strengthening. They're supposed to strengthen all of the institutions in our country in terms of how they build and maintain our roads. So those are some of the functions. It is sad to know that a very important agency will be into this, problem that we just heard going on.
But
Instead of the focus being on raising funds and maintaining and building roads and bridges and overheads, we are bogged down with these kind of a petty things that management is supposed to deal with. Maybe again, like I say, maybe because I'm a crisis manager, uh, these things are not things that I see as real crisis. These are things that should have been taken care of or managed. At this point in time, when there's a transition, you're just creating more noise than you need to do. That's why we call for system audit. Now, all those things that you heard, if we have a system audit, we can fix most of these things that are happening in our country just from system audit. And then recommendation can be made to the national legislature, and they can strengthen our laws surrounding these things so that during transition, all of these things are not happening.
yes, and looking at what happened and the explanation there, this brings to mind that what can be done. Even I listened to one of the transitional member of that team. He said they are even finding it difficult. They are finding it difficult to even communicate with the current outgoing manager there at the National Rule Fund.
Nathan, that's what I'm saying. It should not have been difficult, but in the last 6 years, the way government ran, it makes it difficult for those managers to do a smooth transition. I think most of them were caught unawares when the president conceded fast. I think he did the right thing. If they were not doing their jobs, it's on them. But because of the shitty deeds or the shitty things that it did, it is difficult when you are caught in shitty deeds to turn over easily, and that's why most of those agencies are finding it difficult. I would think the president need to again reinforce his commitment to a smooth transition by letting them know that they need to go through the process. And again, if they do not go through the regular transitional process and turn over the things that they need to turn over, the incoming government can bring them back. So they're not just free. Liberia cannot be a country where you just do what you want to do. We got laws, and if we don't respect the laws, then there's no need. The laws cannot be made for certain people, and then certain people do not respect the laws, and that's why we find ourselves. And in this country, we have to change, where we hold people accountable for their actions. So if you feel that you don't want to transition smoothly, uh, the law will hold you responsible. So when the new government get in power and see things that when you could have corrected and you did not, that could put you into more problems. So I would think that people who are in this position right now will transition smoothly, and this give us, all of us, a new sense of doing the right thing, because in by 2029 there could be another transition. So this is a good learning process for all of us to understand that civil servants are, you're not doing us a favor. And I will continue to repeat that the mindset that civil servants or a government official feel that they're doing the Liberian people a favor, that mindset has to change. They're not doing us a favor. uh, we taxpayer put food on the table for they and the kids. We pay the children school fees. We gave them the cars that they're driving. We gave them the life that they're living. So they're not doing us a favor. The idea that they think they're doing Liberian people a favor is wrong, and we have to change that mindset and understand that when you're a public servant, you're a servant of the people.
Indeed, you should serve your people. But looking at the situation of dismissing people after having a contract, and the argument is this is a project like you listen to one of the contractor and having served for 24 months as working on uh, at a particular entity, and now they are laying you out because according to her, hey, more than 12 months or 24 months, you should employ that person. So we hope that the transitional team come in, and because like she was saying in the conversation, she said because most of them are UPs, Unity Party citizens, I mean, parties. And so at that time when the regime of the CDC was in power, they were afraid to even affiliate with the entities, and most of the hierarchy she's alleging are members of the CDC. She made mention of the public works minister, Cookram or something, whose relative was also sent there to the National Rule Fund. Even the public communication consultant is related to this public works minister. So it's like a family clique. So these are things that we've been hearing, and we hope that the new government will step in, and these are Liberians. They cannot be treated, as a unity party. But now you see, they are speaking out. Like she mentioned, they could not, because to protect the job, to protect the contract, they were not speaking out. There were a lot of irregularities. She also alleged that this head of the entity, is running the entity that kind of way, is on maternity leave, using Zoom and all stuff to run the entity. And so we hope that the authorities step in there and
But
still go ahead.
again, Nathan, again, sometimes our country looks like we're running we're running some organization or some club. There are laws, there are operational procedures, there are things that you need to do, and you can't run an agency based on family or how you want to run it. If they are not, like the lady said, they bring in new people, backdating the employment time, getting rid of people. You can't do that during transitional time. Again, most of them were caught with the pants down in the sense that they were going to win the election, so they didn't care at the time. Those things could have been done long time if you wanted to bring in other people. You should have anticipated that. Now that the election is over, CDC is no longer there. You're bringing in your own people, flood these places, backdate. All of those things are crimes. And so people got to understand this new Liberia that we're all looking for. We're going to hold each other accountable. Those things that people used to do before and just get away with it. This time, to me, not only government now going to be on the backs of people, the citizens going to like they are speaking out now. And so those are some of the things that I think we as Liberians need to hold each other accountable. Again, government officials are not doing us a favor. They work for the government. The money that they pay these people are not their personal funds. They don't run their personal businesses. So they should treat these people with respect. And that has been our problem. We've never treated each other with respect. We've never treated each other with dignity. And so the people who work for them are nobody to them. Some of these people don't even call these people by their names. They don't even know them by their names. You got people who work for you and you don't even know them by their names. You don't even know their families. You don't know nothing about them. So you can see how over the years they've been treated. And that's the frustration that some of us have, that they don't see these people as Liberian with dignity. And so they can do whatever they want to do. But if we have a country of laws, you just can't do what you want to do. You should contact the legal department, find out what is your rights, follow the law. Especially when the president get an ultimatum that nobody should hire and other stuff. So you can see that the disrespect is across. We've heard at the UN where somebody voted wrongly. How would the president or the government want you to vote this way and you personally vote? Who are you to vote the way you wanted to vote? Then again, we're hearing that they're hiring people, and it's just contradictory, and it shows that we don't have a system that works for all.
Okay, we don't have a system that works for all. Let's go to this story. Custom brokers and port truckers members today protest in Liberia over the hack in APM terminal cost there. Let's play you a member of the association who've been speaking. When we come back, we'll also discuss the appointment of the new LRA boss and the Associate Justice of the Supreme Court by President Weah. He's still nominating people into power. What our lawmaker saying? Is he having the right to appoint at this last minute of time? We'll be hearing from some senators who are against his appointment. Let's play you this from the Custom Broker Association. Hopefully, we'll be talking to Bond County USA President, United Bond County USA President, Mr. Cuddy. He'll be putting his own ideas on how to mitigate the situation there in Bond County following the disaster with the flammable situation in Tututa, Bond County. Let's play you this clip from the Custom Brokers memo.
There is additional cost of $10 for your container or your goods to be weighed. So that message goes to them. Go out of the day, at the end of the day, they are the one who give us that money to pay. Without having that information disseminated, you cannot come abruptly and come in the morning and start to enforce it. That's the reason why you will stay with us. We shut down the port. We always reluctant to call you to leave work because we know the role we play is pivotal. The role we play in this economy is crucial to our revenue generation. Speak. This is not to our happiness or our satisfaction to delay or to put hindrance to government revenue. We need a revenue for the country, but we also need the state authorities, national authorities to recognize that you cannot do things to enforce isolation. We need to agree, we need to understand where the money going. Who are these companies? They give us appropriate time to disseminate the information. Without that, we will not support you. So we are glad we'll never go back to work in that port. The port will remain shut down until we get around the table and understand what I'm not here to delay you. I want to thank you for the support. I'm certain I know when I call, you will follow. And that's why we call. So we have the cover you. Listen to the cover you.
All the Choco members, the Liberal National Choco Union, I want to congratulate my friend, president of the Liberal Custom Broker. So I want to say this again. Liberal is our home. And I will make the public understand that this economy, we are not interested in violence. We will be calm and we will continue to support the economy, and we will let the public know that this way big issue, we are not in support of it. So, continue to let the public know that today is one of the days that we will speak about many other things in the book. Many things! And one of the issue is about we have the security sector. Yes. The poor facility is never look at your bolo. Yes. And it's some of the things that make the people to go away from the country. Yes. And definitely we are appealing to all the hair in the country, those that in the leadership and those that are coming to speak on behalf of the Liberian. Yes. We are suffering. Yes. And we don't want to suffer. That is our rule. Yes. So for the way big issue, we are not in support of it. We are struggle. Yes. Speaking on behalf of Liberian National Struggle Union. That is the president Lai Kamara. So I will continue to support. There is now a violence, we remain calm and we remain silent and to support the idea and let our people know what is going on in the poor facility.
Wow.
Mr. Jackson Josh, I know you from the business sector. You've
Yeah,
been
and,
in this thing before.
Again, I believe in unions. I believe people need. I think the question I will ask myself, why now, right? But I think this is the right time for people to protest. You will say, but why didn't they protest long time ago? I think from these elections, I always say that our country will be different. Things that happen. I think this administration that is there is the last administration that we have. Things done and people just be afraid to talk. People don't want to talk because of their job or fear of the reprisal that will happen to them or get killed or something of that nature. For this country to change, yes, we will have to speak. We have to do the things that we need to do. How hard it is to have a transparent process at the port. That's the port of entry. That's the place that makes the most money for all of us as a country. So how hard it is to put processes in place to be transparent and bring all of these different groups around the table and open up. He's right. There's no reason why we don't know which are the companies, where the monies are going. We all should know where the monies are going. That's the only way we can have a country that share the wealth with all of us. But when you have a place where things are hidden fees, you don't know what the fees are for, you continue to press as if the port is the only place that can bring in money. We have to be innovative. The port is one entry point, the airport is another entry point. All of our borders are trading part of the things that bring money into our country. But the mindset that they have, last night I was listening to the deputy speaker, and he talked about some of the businesses that have to do with liberalization policy, but then we have foreign friends. So by the time it get into Congress, we got to negotiate, then we water down. I think the word he used was water down to a minimum, and I didn't like the word water down. We should not be water down the interest of our people because of our foreign friends. Our foreign friends, you understand that our people come first. We do business in the United States. America is not going to change the way to do business just because we foreigner into their country. We must follow what they say. They look out for the interest of the people. So we should not be watering down because of our foreign friends. We got so many foreign businesses. Those people can choose to do business anywhere they want to go. They're not forced to be in Liberia. Nobody forced them to be in Liberia. We're not forcing them to stay. So we can change our laws and water down our processes because of our foreign friends. They should understand that Liberians are first. Liberians should do business first. And so that's the mindset that they have. So if you look at the port, again, most of the shipment that are coming into our country coming in from our foreign friends. So they would cater to our foreign friends faster than they cater to us. They don't really care. So when they make it up,
he said he used the word look at two, just a look at two.
exactly.
What
So
do you mean,
again,
Kovacha?
it should not be like that. It should not be like that. So I'm hoping that this new administration coming will have people that's selfless, people who want to work in the interest of the Liberian people, and not just hiring people. Nathan, one of the things that I always say, there are people with many degrees but have never worked in their areas before. They come to the United States, they go to school here, they're working somewhere else, they go to school, and they have not worked in the area. They have not managed people, they have not managed budgets, and all of a sudden they are in these big positions in Liberia. And so what they do, they become so scarce that you can't see them because they don't know what to do. They don't know how to manage people. They don't know how to manage these big budgets. They don't know how to build processes. And so they go in and they act busy all the time and doing nothing. And that's why our country looks the way it looks. And I'm afraid now that we who want to stay on the fringes and say, oh, we don't want government job, we don't want to do this. If all the good people stay away, then what's going to happen? If the capables are not available, the available become capables. And so I like to see people with experience. You might not have the masters, you might not have the PhDs, but I want to see you as I want to see this new administration coming in with people with good experience, people who've worked in the fields, people who've managed people to be managers. All of these, the port is a place where you need crisis manager, and that is why we keep talking about these things. But if you just got people with degrees and never work in the fields and put them into these positions, Nathan, it is harmful to our country, and that is what we are having. We are having a lot of people with degrees from the United States and other places who work in one area but go to school for a different thing. Now they got a master's, they go home, they are placed into this position of high value, and they have no clue what to do. How to manage the process. Just leaving the United States and coming home, you got to understand the terrain. You got to understand the people you meet in there. You got to bring yourself down to the level to understand who they are and who you're working with. That's what crisis managers do. But again, some of us who even go home, we can't even see some of our friends who are government officials. They're so busy. And sometimes you ask the question, busy doing what? So I can understand the frustration of the custom brokers, the drivers union. If you went to the port, it's a total mess. And so
Yeah, he said look at it. It's like Kovacha, you just give me $50 free, I'll weigh you.
it needs some reform, my brother. So those are some of the things that we are talking about. Total reforms. We need a system audit to check some of these things that are happening so that we can rebuild this nation. This nation needs rebuilding from grassroots level. And so I'm hoping that the president-elect will come in. Look, CDC did what it had to do. They've done their part. I'm hoping that the incoming administration will not be, throwing blame all the time. CDC did not do this. CDC, no. You told the Liberian people that you can do the work. They hire you, do the work. We'll hold those who are accountable for things that they've done, but we have to move forward. And so you look through 5 million people, you hire the best people to do the work, and then you get it done. Because the Liberian people expect no less. Liberia will never be the same. This incoming administration will have a lot of work to do. They will have a lot of crisis management to deal with. They will have a lot of issues to deal with. So if we don't perform system audit, it will be difficult for us to move forward.
Yes, exactly, Mr. Josh. Because, like you were saying, we can get millions of dollars from the port, and we are losing that because of those or due to corruption. If you give me $50, I weigh your truck and say, okay, it weigh XYZ, and maybe somebody is charging people exorbitant at the port, that also scare people. Because if I have a container like of $25,000, I already pay for storage fee, weighing fee, all the kind of processes, and you're still charging me.
The issue that if we automate our systems, this is the 21st century. We're running a port like you're running it like Logato. The guy is right. We need to take money off the hands of people.
Yeah, physical cash.
Yeah, automate the system in a way that everybody sees it.
It's
There's no
transparent. It's not,
transparent.
because it's Chassis Joe, he has money, so let's increase his thing, or
Yeah.
let he give me $5 and you go.
I always ask question: how is it possible that the Lebanese are there that continue coming to clear it faster and other stuff? How is it that Liberian business people can do the same? The system should.
Why you guys can do the same?
That's my point. The system should be there for all. They're more organized. I'm hoping that we can organize ourselves the same way they organize themselves, make that phone call, but we don't have to be making phone calls just to get the containers out of the port. It should be an automated system. People should know what the fees are. They go and make that payment. The container come out of the port. That's how it should be. Let's automate these systems, especially at our port, the airport. I keep talking about baggage claim. You want to tell me that the director of the airport have never gone there 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the night to see how the baggage in the airport looks like? Or government official, because they have access to VIP, they don't even care how it looks. 6 years has come, they're going to leave power, they're going to be passing right through the same airport. So we should be doing these things for ourselves. If you're not even doing it for the masses, do it for yourself so that you have, it's convenient for you. But I don't know if people work in Liberia, if people really go to work and actually want to work in the interest of the Liberian people. I've been to that airport. Look, I continue to talk about the airport because baggage claim should not be that way. It's an easy fix. Everybody is struggling for the bags. People bags could get missing. Luckily, they got their own system in place that bags don't get missing at that airport easily, from what I've learned. But they struggle to just get your bag from the airport. It shouldn't be that way. When we travel internationally, nobody run to you to pick up your bag and help you with your bag. You pick up your own bag and get out of the airport. In Liberia, everybody running to pick up your bag. And these are people who travel all over the world, and they travel all over the world, and they get to Liberia, and it's just like Liberia. Look, it's sad. I'm sorry to say, it's sad. I have to say, when we learn in foreign parts and we come home, all of the learning just get out of our heads when we enter Liberia, because these things are easy to do. There's no way we get to the airport, the international airport, where investors are supposed to be coming through. We got our airport looking like that. What kind of a major investor coming to the country? So all the major investors will pass through VIP. Let's agree. But when the people coming, most of the people are not going to pass through VIP and other things, or when they send in people to reevaluate or to evaluate what they want to do, those people coming in secretly. And when they come in, that's what they see. So they go back and say, I didn't see what you saw. Because no major investor will come over there and don't send a second team to do another an investigation. And that is why we don't have major investors. We don't have investors coming into the country anymore. People do their due diligence, and that is why.
The thing is, the sad part of it, we are losing millions,
We
thousands of dollars, and
We are.
just with the system put in place. Because I tell you, like you said, if the system was automated, it will also ensure transparency, move the money, the physical money, people influencing the process in a negative way, and our resources, finances will come back to us. You can just sit as a manager, you know how many, or container is there with the number of figures. So no accounting or somebody on the fee inspector can tell you, say, oh, we only got 2 containers today.
The shipping line can tell you where your container is on the sea, when that container going to arrive.
You can track that.
How far that container is. Technology has improved.
Yeah.
We got drones. We got different means of finding out things. They don't want to automate the system because of corruption. But who says that you can't do both? In America, you don't think corruption is here? There are corruption here too. But you minimize corruption in a way that you do it so that you don't have cash passing all over in people's hands. Even in the banking system here, they don't even want cash passing all over the place. That's why they got automated banking and all kinds of stuff. But in our own country, everything is not automated. And it's sad for all of us because that's where corruption is. Like if you give somebody money, like the guy to the border, the guy is collecting cash up to $1 million maybe per month.
Yeah.
You're paying this guy $200 or $500 a month.
No, 5. You say
I mean, I'm bringing
175.
in $1 million per month, and you pay me. So if 10 trucks come in, and this guy says I will give you $5,000, that's more than my paycheck for the whole year. That's how we are corrupt. But if we automate our system, Nathan, and all these monies are going into our national coffers, we have more money to pay more people. We can reduce government, invest into the private sector, have most of our people into the private sector working, where they will make more money. We get more revenue coming into government. And so we can be able to do all of these things. But we don't want to automate the system. Look, once upon a time, I asked, why is it that if New York issue a visa or somebody will deny a visa in Minnesota, how will you know that that person was denied? We don't have a system that tells. We don't have a system for you to know how many visas were issued in a day.
Why would we not?
Because we need to automate these things so that if one person is denied in one sector, that red flag goes otherwise. So when I put your name in, is bam, that person has been denied. So we need to know why that person was denied, so that none of that person cannot come to our country. But once you talk about these automation, and when you talk about processes and you talk about these things, it's just like you're talking nonsense. It's totally impossible. And that's our major problem. We can curtail corruption. To stop corruption will be difficult, but we can reduce corruption to the place where government make more money to care for the masses. And until we have people who are selfless, who want to work as civil servants and public officials, instead of thinking that they're doing Liberians a favor, that mindset is going to change. Look at the tragedy in our country, right? In Totota, we got lawmakers coming and donating 2,000.
We'll come to that, Jackson.
No, but that's some of the things I'm talking about.
Hope the bunker state president
people think they're doing us favor. Go back, have an emergency meeting in the legislature, pump $1 million into the process, so that the finance ministry can give that money for emergency funds. If we do not have that, you think $1,000, $1,000 here, $2,000 here can do it? That is for us who are not government officials to do. Like the Red Cross will open up donation and we make our donation. We who are not government officials, we who just as citizens wanting to make donation. But for the deputy speaker, for senators and representatives to come and say, I'm giving you 2,000, I don't even know if they understand the function of their jobs. We need an emergency meeting. We need an emergency fund. We need to put that money into the system so that, in fact, senators and representatives should not be making donation. That's not their place.
Well, you can stop them from making a personal donation.
Let me tell you something. That's not their place. Their place is to go into Congress, make law, pump money into the system so that the system works. They think they're doing us a favor by making donation. They're not doing us a favor. Nathan, that's not. Have you seen a United States senator that even you invited them to the program? Have you seen them make donation? They don't make public donation. No government official should be making public donation. Because if they did, then how would the system work? Their job is to fix the system. Their job is to put money into the system for the system to work. So if a public official can come and give you $2,000, $3,000, then that means he's telling you that the system will not work.
Okay, the system will not work. Let's see if we can take a break here and give Mr. Josh a briefer, and we'll bring on the National Bond County President of the U.S., hopefully on a few minutes from now, and also Iman Dukle hopefully will join us. And we're looking at issues in Liberia. But this is a video, a journalist shot this video in terms of public safety. But we'll discuss that after our break.
Don't get me wrong. I got a lot on my phone. When I'm in Liberia, I record.
Look at this. Sylvester Chulupe shot this video. See what happened.
This is a container going, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And passing by police officers, though. You know?
See this. Even if it's empty, but the idea when that fall, see how it didn't hold.
Look at the keke that right under it. That person is dead. Wow.
Yeah.
Later, I think I will send you some of my videos. I had a guy, he had 5 gallon, the 5 gallon can gasoline. He had three on one side, three on one side, tied to a motorcycle. It was like a suicide bumper.
Ooh.
I'm telling you, riding in Monrovia, passing through the checkpoint in Mount Barkley area. I said, if this guy was in the United States, he might have gotten shot. Coming with gasoline to a checkpoint like that,
Yeah.
you know.
This is the kind of
Wow.
yeah, this is the kind of thing.
Again, Nathan, when I say we need system audit, that's why we need system audit. What is there in the books? Maybe we don't even have a law or procedure, operating procedure, or other things that are tied to these things. So people do what they feel they have to do. Another thing they would complain about is that poverty is a disease. Another thing, I stopped one point and asked a police officer, I said, did you see that car that passed? He said, yes, sir. I said, did you see how that car is loaded? He said, Chief, if we stop that car right now and stop that car and arrested the driver, we get a phone call from the higher up. The only thing we'll be saying on that phone call will be yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. And that driver will go. We're tired. So some of our problems is our making. If leadership doesn't lead, the people will not follow. African leadership starts from up to down, not from grassroots level, from down up. We don't have a flat kind of a leadership. It's from up down. You can see how our citizenry are afraid of our ministers when they come in. Everybody got to stop for the minister to get in the elevator and go up. Even though we pay for the elevator, we pay the minister, but we all got to stop. We have to respect the office of the ministers, but they're no different from us, and that's something that we do. So until we have a system audit where we can find out what's in the laws, what are the safety regulations, for me that is complete chaos. And so these are some of the things, Nathan, that we need to work on, and I'm hoping that the new administration will bring in people with experience, people who have the country at heart, patriots who will want to do some of their work and forget about, another thing that they need to look at is the fact that people need to really work. Look, you can't work from 10 to 2 o'clock and be serious. To find people at their jobs, to find people working in our country is hard. We need people to work for 8 hours. Look, an 8 hours job will help this country at least.
8 hour job or 8 hour economy or 24-hour economy? Which one will help our country?
An 8 hour shift job,
okay,
and a 24-hour economy. And it's a process. We're gonna get there. But we can't have the banks closed at 2 o'clock every day. We can't have people working from 10 a.m. to they come by noon and they go home for lunch and they don't come back. You can't have ministers that are the only people that can sign. If the minister is not there, nobody signs. People got to be given the jobs and held accountable. You can't have a deputy minister and you and the deputy minister, you don't speak. That's
you can see a point in power now.
Yeah, that's the reason why they said deputy. So when I'm not there, my deputy can step in. But if my deputy and myself fighting all the time, how does it work? We are dysfunctional. And that's the problem we've been having. The minister can speak to the deputy. So when he's leaving, then he leave somebody who honor the deputy to act as minister while he's gone. I mean, are you serious?
Yeah.
The deputy minister should be part of your brain. I mean, that person should be able to step in your position. You should teach this person everything you're doing. You should be transparent with this person, everything that you do, so that the moment you leave, that person can step in your position and do the things that they need to do. But you can imagine if you're a deputy minister not speaking, you travel out of the country. And the deputy minister, by law, is supposed to sign all the other things in. I mean, I got to send a document way to you while you're in Israel. Then you send it back to me, or I got to pick up the phone and call you while you're in Israel. What you managing me as assistant minister or whatever, as your appointee or designate, that's wrong. And again, it comes to the leadership. People should function. I don't know if I can be in a situation where I can't function.
Okay, the Diaspora Talk is on KMTV. It's New Year, and we're discussing a lot of things from Liberia. But there's a breaking news. There is a big breaking news. I know some people who were on the other side, they are happy, while those who on the other side are not happy with that breaking
What
news.
is the
But when
breaking?
we come back, we tell you that big breaking news is a big breaking news in Liberia. Keep
Holy.
tuned, share this broadcast. When we come back, things have changed in Liberia. Somebody is getting the ball. Somebody is speaking in Liberia. What has happened? You know in few seconds. Let's
Oh my
play you a commercial.
Let your celebration begin with Park Liquor Outlet, your first Liberian-owned liquor store in the city of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. We have everything that you need to set that special occasion or bride. For your next party or great get-together with friends, visit Park Liquor Outlet. We have great selection of beer, wine, gin, and many more at affordable prices. Our customer service will make you always want to come back. We are open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Park Liquor Outlet, your one-stop celebration store. We are located at 6315 Zine Avenue North, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Visit us today and feel the difference.
Hi, my name is Dr. Kent. Welcome to Brooklyn Chiropractic. Come to Brooklyn Chiropractic if you're having any back or neck pain. Especially, we specialize in treating people in auto and work-related injuries. We've been established here in Brooklyn Center for the last 14 years. And one of the pleasures that I have is helping out in the community. We've sponsored a lot of events throughout the years in the community, and we really appreciate being a part of the community. So if you're experiencing any pain, give us a try. If you want a drug-free way to get better. Thank you.
Welcome back to the Diaspora Talk. My name is Nathan Charles Jackson. George is there looking at issues in Liberia. We hope to have the United Bond County Association USA President, Mr. Cuddy, and looking at the issues in Liberia.
Nathan, I hope you're not like the guy from CNN, breaking news, breaking news.
So, oh yes, this is it. Let's play this. Then we'll come back. We'll play that breaking news. I know this is what Jackson always talk about.
Got here in 2018. TV edits wasn't even on the government budget.
That's the president of the vice president system, Mo Howard.
Why are you recording me?
Madam, sorry, but we heard that we saw the health practitioners that were actually like firstly protesting black baby entrance.
You need my permission before you can.
No, we saw them, and then interacting, make it that please or whatsoever.
Do you work here? Please be security.
I don't work here, but I'm a journalist, man. I'm a journalist. What am I doing?
We want to be on camera. We want to be on camera. We want to be on camera.
Jackson, you love this.
I laugh again because these people think they do us a favor. The police officer that we pay from we the Liberian people pay. You said
that they all going for our president system. She's deputy minister,
and that's why we have to start getting rid of all of these titles and other stuff. She public servant, she public official. She can be recorded anywhere, anytime, in front of a public building. This is not in her home. Again, you can, once you're in government and you're in that position, you can say I'm speaking as a private individual. It doesn't work. Anything you say it means something. So you can be in a position again. Like I said, I don't know some of these people who come home from the United States and got these positions, see themselves as different from the people back home. A public servant cannot say, don't record me, and then use taxpayer dollar that pay police officer to put the Fourth Estate outside of the facility, just because you have the power. That's not something. Again, we have a constitution. We should follow our constitution. We have laws. We should follow our laws. And I didn't see the police officer putting people. Also, that was a good thing. But what she said was wrong, and I think she should have apologized to the Fourth Estate for what she said.
Indeed, that's Liberia. It's like, do you know who am I?
Yeah, it's
you know who am I, Jackson Josh?
It's like they asked Fonati Kofa, why do you want to be speaker? I was shocked. And last night I went to bed like 3. The guy said, my colleagues, they respect me. I never heard him say, I want to do this for the Liberian people. That mindset, and maybe they take it for granted that the people are there. It's a given. But we should not take it for granted, because the people need us more. And so in this position, you are in this position to help the people, not your colleagues. That mindset, I just want us to start changing our mindset that what matters most, the Liberian people. Then we will start to develop as a nation. But when they ask you why you want to be, and you just talk about your colleagues and your qualification and what you want to do, what about the main reason why you want to be speaker? It's because you want to make changes that affect the lives of the Liberian people. I don't even want to know your profession or the degrees and other stuff. Let's speak now about how we can change the lives of our Liberian people. Look, kids are still sitting down on blocks in the classroom. People are going to bed hungry in our country. The unemployment rate is high. Schools there's no power. People are still using blackboards. Most of the people you go to Monrovia, they to use the toilets or the bathrooms. You can't even find good toilets and bathrooms in our country. The pipe-borne water, we don't have feeding pipe-borne water. Our roads, the infrastructure, our roads infrastructure are bad. We don't have stable electricity for business to thrive. We're not investing into the private sector. We treat each other with disdain and disrespect. We don't pump money into our police officer for safety, for community safety. All of these things are enormous problem. I always say we got compound complex problem, Nathan. And until we can start bringing ourselves down to understanding these things, it's going to be difficult for our country to move forward. And so it is frustrating that a minister or deputy minister will have that frame of mind that don't record me, especially in the 21st century where everybody
and worst of all, these health workers were protesting last year because they needed the hazard pay, and you coming from in-house meeting to talk to them and saying that, okay, we'll work on XYZ thing. Then you're saying they shouldn't record you. And
one of the other things that I will urge Liberians going home from the United States, who might be fortunate to work in this coming administration, respect the people you meet on the ground. They are not stupid people. Just because they don't have opportunities and maybe the little money, it doesn't mean that they are stupid or they are not smart people. And many of the time we come across as we know it all, we smart, but no, we're not. And the people who hurt the country the most, unfortunately, most of the time the people who come overseas, get the education and go back home. And this is really frustrating. And I'm hoping that President-elect Boyka will put some of these people in a room and tell them, what he wants, because they come home with the mindset that they're better, they're more educated. No, you're not more educated. Even in America, you can have a PhD. They will still train you on the job. Yeah. So when you get to Liberia, listen to the employees that you're going to have on the ground. Understand the terrain. Understand the processes that they have. And if you want to make changes, bring them on board. Let them be a part of the change. Do not just, put it down their throat. And that has been our problem. We come in with on this high horse. We have no respect for the people we meet in the ministries. We don't even know them by names. We don't even know them, their family member. We don't ask questions. And many of the times we just think we're better off. We have access to the president, or we have power, and that's what has hurt us. So the people you met there will not tell you nothing. They put you in a cycle. You sign a document that you don't even know corruption is hard on you. Then maybe you've done nothing, but nothing is happening. And you just sit there and complain and complain and complain because you have not come down to the level for them to understand you. One, and number two, you have to give them respect. And that has been our problem. We do not respect these people. Look, some of our people go home, they become ministers, they don't even associate with the people in their own communities. Their fences are so high, they're in their cars with the air conditioner on, they don't even stop to tell the neighbors hello or how you doing. So they're so busy. And so I'm urging all of those people in the United States trying to go home to get these jobs and other stuff, to be able to see the sense that these people in Liberia are not crazy. Most of them are contributing to your paycheck. So at least respect them. It's just like us who got businesses, Nathan. We say the customer is always the king, right? Why do you think we say the customer is the king? Even though the customer will come in, abuse you, insult you, and do all kinds of nonsense to you, why do you still respect the customer? Because you want the customer money, right? Yes. And so it's the same thing with public servants. We pay you, have some respect for the Liberian people, and sit down, stop running around all the places, stay at your ministry, do some work, stop following the president everywhere the president goes. If you follow the president 90% of the time, what work are you doing? So those are some of the things, some of the minor changes that we have to make as a nation. I know there's some presidents that want to see everybody and feel good when everybody's around.
The king is naked, nobody can tell him.
Yeah, it is not necessary. If the president is going to the JFK Medical Center and we have the director of housing, the director of water and sewer, everybody's there. Why? And those are some of the things. So that means you're not even working. So you need to stay most of the time at your ministry, work 8 hours a day. And I would say some people work. Some people work late.
Okay. This is the big. Yes, this is the big news in Liberia.
What is the big news?
This is the big news in Liberia. Justice in Chambers, James Etta Wolokoti, has put a stay order on the confirmation of Councillor Frank Musadin as Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of Liberia. The stay order was issued following a writ of prohibition filed by Chu incoming Rudy Unity Party, by and Chu its chairman, Reverend Luther Tappet, National General Secretary Amos Tue, and all other officials of the Unity Party in Monrovia against the Liberian Senate by Chu its president, Jua Howard Taylor, and Pro Tem Albert Chi, as well as the leadership of the Senate and the nominees of the Associate Justice position, Councillor Frank Musadin. So indeed, Justice in Chambers, James Etta Howard Wolokoti, has put a stay order on the confirmation hearing of Frank Musadin. As you know, President Weah appointed him, to the bench, but people were saying that, hey, looking at the time frame, even last year we discussed that, looking at the time frame, so he has the power. But hey, how can such a man who ran the justice ministry, such a man who will be questioned in the incoming government, become a member of that associate, that distinguished branch of government? So indeed, the Unity Party ran to court, and we are hearing that, hey, there has been a stay order. Jackson Josh, what do you make of this big news?
Well,
and also,
again,
go ahead.
Democracy can be messy. The president has the right constitutionally to appoint. We have 3 branches of government. The legislature put forth, I guess they were going through with the process, and now we have a stay from Justice Wolokoti. Let's see how it plays out. I like to see it played out, but I think she did the right thing. Again, it's because of the character in person of the current justice minister, who has been the chief of police, the national security, who has for the last 6 years we've experienced all of these missing kids, mysterious death, and basically we have not had conclusive resolution to some of these problems. And so you're right. He signed on most of the contracts, most of the deeds that are taking place in Liberia. So he's a person of interest, even though he's not a person of interest for now, but he's a person of interest that I guess should an audit take place in Liberia, he will know a lot of things. He will have a lot to answer. And so, sitting on the Supreme Court bench, I think um, why it was the prerogative of the president, he could have nominated somebody else to do the same thing that Mossadegh would have done. But I think it was in his interest, in the interest of Mossadegh, to protect Mossadegh's interest because he knew so much or he knows so much in our country. He would be someone to sit down with and talk to. Mossadegh could write an entire book about his 6 years in office as Minister of Justice.
So indeed, that's the big news there. If you just joining us, the big news is Justice in Chambers James Etta Wodokodi has issued a stay order on the confirmation of Councillor Frank Mossadegh as Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of Liberia.
And Nathan, when I say Liberia will no longer be the same, people are getting brave. People are beginning to see if we have a functioning democracy, we all have a part to play. We can no longer just sit on the fringes and do nothing and be afraid. The fear that you will get killed is a good fear. Even Martin Luther King knew that he could have gotten killed. Even Nelson Mandela knew that he could have gotten killed. But one of the things that we need to also think about, the people who are perpetrating these harms, are they different from us? What make you think that they can do what we cannot do? So I don't want to, I hate to give people power over me just because they're in authority. The power is always inherent in the people. So there's no number of police officers in Liberia that can stop the masses, or military that can stop the masses. When the people decide they want, there's no amount of police officer or squad that can stop the masses. So people who are doing these things got to be careful. Let's just debate ideologies. Let's disagree to agree. This country is for all of us. But the fact that somebody disagree with you based on your own ideology or your thinking, they will come out in the night to kill you or harm you. That's something that we need to stop, or else our country will degenerate into a place where we go back into chaos, because some of us are not just going to sit down for you to just do anything to our own families. And while you got your families running around the country and benefiting from taxpayer dollars, it's not going to work. That time has passed. So I'm hoping that we all will respect each other. I'm hoping that we all will understand that this country is for all of us, that we all have a stake into this country, whether you of the hierarchy or you are nobody in Liberia. This country, our DNA is all over this country. So it's time for us to develop. And I think the Supreme Court Justice, understanding her role, put a stay on it. And I think maybe she has her reason for doing that. But I think in my mind, it's a good reason that she could put a stay and then investigate more, listen to all sides, and then make a decision. Just because she put a stay on it doesn't mean that she's not going to call all sides and listen to the side and make a decision,
Yes, and also too, another stay order has been placed. As you know, President Weah appointed Samora Wodokodi to the LRA position, replacing Thomas Dona, who just died because he was ill. So Thomas Dona, that's his picture there. He died as a result of protracted illness. And President Weah wasted no time. He has not been buried. President Weah wasted no time in appointing Samora Wodokodi, who works at the Finance Ministry, Deputy Finance Minister Samora Wodokodi. He has been appointed by President Weah to the Liberia Revenue Authority, replacing Mr. Thomas Donau. But the Unity Party, through its Secretary General and Chairman Luther Tape and Amos Stewart and others, are asking James Etta, the Supreme Court, to put a stay order on the confirmation too of that. At the background, we also have the United Bond County president, who's in our background, looking at the issues in Bond County, the disaster there. So, Jackson, you wanted to throw weight on before we bring in the chairman?
Again, I don't want to make it an issue with the president nominating why Tomatona is not buried. That's the president's constitutional right. The president can be in the motorcade, going to the transfer, going to where the transfer of power and still make decisions. That's the Constitution, that where we are, and so that's his right. Again, the other side, the Senate, has its own responsibility, and again, the courts has its own responsibility. Again, the incoming administration has its own responsibility, and I think democracy is a good thing. We are learning. We are learning about all of these things now, which is healthy for our democracy. I'm happy that the president was able to appoint. The problem we have is that maybe he had taken someone else. All of the appointees are people who people of interest. They are serious people. So again, would there have been somebody else? Would that be noise? No, maybe not. It's just the choice of the people that he's appointing to me are the problem. But equally so, that's his right. But equally so, that's the right of the Senate not to go ahead with it and wait for time. And then the Unity Party has gone and filed
Rid of prohibition.
prohibition, and then the courts will decide. So I like the fact that we are maturing in our democracy. But again, like I said, Liberia will never be the same. We all getting it now. We getting that to the point that I want to do my job and let me do my job. No justice should be afraid because they're there for life. I mean, I know there's a precedent set that they can be impeached, so now we know that justices can be impeached. But I think I'm happy that democracy is working in our country. It might be a little messy, but it's working.
Democracy is working. It might be a little bit messy, according to Mr. Jackson George. So, Chimseta Howard Wolokoti have placed read of prohibition on the confirmation of Frank Musadin and Samora Wolokoti, who was appointed recently by President George Weah as his almost about to leave office, and other senators have been speaking about the issue, including Senator Borcha Sigma of River G County, Senator Darius DeLong, Yombin Kaga Lawrence, Senator Milton TJ, and they have been speaking against it. But in the House of Senate, it's all about the numbers. As you know, the outgoing party has the number in the House. So if it goes there, people are saying it might likely pass. We have with us United Bond County Association USA president. That's a small president. Welcome to Joe. Welcome to the Diaspora Talk. Happy New Year.
Thanks, sir. Yeah, I'm doing well. It's a tough one, but we're good.
Great.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, His Excellency Honorable Jackson George.
I mean, the excellency, you call it, I can't go to Liberia now because we got plenty of excellency down there.
You deserve it, brother. That's a real excellency.
Okay, let's move
On a
straight
serious
over.
note, thank you guys for having me. It's such an honor. Thank you.
Let's move straight over to the situation there in Bond County. It's reported that over 50 or some persons are currently dead, dozens others wounded. What's have been your own involvement since the incident? What can you say towards that first? Let's start with you, Mr. Joe.
Thank you, Cyrus. Thank you for having me. It's really been we, as you know, the end of the year always a festive time for every one of us in Liberia and across the world. We were waking just few days to the end of the year, the 26th to be specific. We're waking by this tragic accident, explosion, a tanker fire, fuel tanker explosion in Totota. Totota is one of those cities that are mid-sized cities that is en route when you go into Banga. And this tragedy has this disaster. This is a national disaster, and as of this morning, we have from some unconfirmed report or information we're getting, more than 70 individual has passed away. So the number is no longer 50 as we have been reporting in a lot of media cycle is now increased to almost more than 70 that I learned this morning from some sources from back home. So we as an institution, when we got our information, we immediately reconstituted our national disaster committee. That committee was functioning, but a lot of its work was centered around people who have issues around our country that are related to immigration or eviction and stuff. And that's when we come in to help. But we were able to reconstitute that committee with a new term of reference to allow them to respond to the national disaster we have had. from our county. So we're able to ask that committee to put up a immediate fundraising drive so that we can start to respond to the immediate needs of our that resulted from the disaster. So currently, that committee has raised over $10,000. Last report I got, it was in the ballpark of $10,000 or more. In addition, what we did, that committee has started the intervention process. As you know, this is a crisis, especially when this kind of crisis when it happens, because our healthcare system cannot not even in a position to facilitate what we go through already in the normal healthcare, normal situation than this crisis. So we were able to gather some resources for on the ground. We bought some medical supplies, including some food. Yesterday we delivered over medical supplies, or $8,000 medical supplies to Phoebe Hospital. And one of the reasons why we're targeting Phoebe, not just because it's in Bond County, because we have Moravia and other clinics in the cities. We think that they will have more access. We're hoping that they will have more access to resources compared to Phoebe and other rural clinics. And this is an ongoing process for us. The committee is still active working. We stay fundraising. We're being appealing to our well wishers, friends, and families, and members of our community to help to see how best we can be able to address this issue. I don't like. I'm tired seeing the video. That video is just literally. It makes me not to sleep, especially looking at the young people and the kids that were around that tanker before it exploded. It's just something that I think we as a country, as a nation, needs to be able to step up. I will be able to address it a little bit. We have sent some formal communication through some dispatches to the president. We requesting that our president can somehow announce a national disaster. This is a national disaster of greater proportion. We have more than 70 of our brothers and sisters gone. I mean, just out of one blast, and a couple of days added on it with all the pain that are going through, health-related pain from the burn, and the state of trauma and that we're dealing with as a community. Our community is traumatized from this. We are hurt. We are feeling the pain, and we're just asking our brothers and sisters to continue to join us as we do our best to give opportunity to those who are in the hospital to just live.
So Kamal, I'm sure you've spoken to your senators or your representatives, some of them. We have a vice president from your county. Is there any reason why we have not had the Senate or the House going into an emergency section to make funds available? We know that our healthcare system is not up to speed, so that some of these critical cases can be flown into countries that can deal with them. These people are dying because we don't have the healthcare system that can take care of them. So the issue, my frustration is the fact that I see representatives and senators making $2,000 donation. That's not enough.
No.
So why is it that we have not have you spoken to them and see why have they not gone into an emergency section to make funds available, emergency funds to fly some of these people into countries that can deal with these? Burn is one of the major cases that any hospital could have, and with our situation right now, we are not capable of doing that. So I'm a little frustrated that maybe if bigger people, again, people with power and money, the kids will not be running to get gasoline due to poverty. Is it because our families are not there? That's why we are not flying these people out of the country to do stuff and put the money. $2,000 can fly somebody to Ghana or Nigeria or something of that nature. We need the national legislature to put in emergency funds to be able to do that before the international community, or we who are ordinary people, raise money to do that. I applaud you for raising money and all the other people raising money, but senators and representatives should not be in the business of making donation of that nature, because their job is to appropriate funds to take care of the situation at once.
Thank you, Mr. George. In fact, I will even add on. I think again, I'll appeal to the national leader, to our president, His Excellency George Manuel Weah, to our vice president, all those who are in authority. But now we should have at least gotten a national disaster or emergency announcement declared by the president. This is a national disaster, and whatever institutions of government that is in the position to declare a national disaster. Here, sometimes the state and our different local government can make the announcement based on the situation. But I don't know how the system works in Liberia when it comes to national disaster. But our greater appeal and frustration right now is exactly what you alluded to. I'm on the phone with our senators and I'll be following up with them on this. I know yesterday I haven't seen the dispatch, but I heard that Senator Moy made an appeal yesterday in the House, sorry, in the Senate for appropriation. I have not seen that information yet. I've been dealing with the funds and trying to coordinate some resources to ship some medical supplies from here to some other institutions there. Either somebody going with a suitcase can take a suitcase for us. So we will be nudging up our approach in this process in order to get to our national leaders to be involved, and starting with the president. We hold our senators, our representatives accountable, but at the same time, we hope that I've said to someone, President Weah is still our president. He still enjoys the privilege of being the president of the Republic of Liberia. All the resources are there, so we are appealing to him as a country, as a people. Again, this is not for us to play politics here with this, but we can only be important during elections. That's the frustration we having as a community, that this issue is not taking a national attention. Because if it does, what happened, it elevates not only Liberians, all international community to know this is a national disaster. If this disaster having 70 human beings losing their lives in this country, when 10 presidents happen to any violence here, we see the president of the United States on TV, governors and superintendents or mayors, on TV declaring national disaster and attention to this stuff. It is frustrating. It is really, really frustrating. As of now, we again our appeal to the national leadership. This is a national disaster, and that let us take it to that level so that we can be able to galvanize the appropriate resources and institutions to be able to address it. But as I said to you, I'm feeling what you're feeling. We're feeling it more than because we're there. Our brothers and sisters, directly family members. I know people in our community that lost two of their brothers.
Correct.
Another sister was just there announcing that she lost her brother yesterday. So this thing is having a direct impact on us, and this thing needs to take national attention. And it is not in that capacity right now, and that's the frustrating part for our end. So we'll keep calling on the lines and reaching out to our county leaders. I hope Senator Moy can push on the declaration or the appeal that he made on the floor yesterday on the Senate floor, and we hope to follow up on that to the national level. I will be making some calls to the vice president, appealing to her to be able to talk to the president. The president got a few more weeks of being president, to be president of the Republic of Liberia and enjoying all the privileges of the president. So if the president can make some announcement, make appointment, I think the president can declare national emergency or disaster for the people of Tototai and Bon County. It is sad.
So, in cases like these where people are raising funds and people are raising funds all over, for your own organization, the UBCCA, raising funds, how? I know you say you're buying some supplies and other things. Where can people make donations, and how can those donations? How can people be sure that those donations that they're making will reach the right people and not into a pot that again we don't know what happened and people continue to die? I mean, it's just like a drop in the bucket, but it's still something from your end as compared to what the national government can do. So how can people make donations and how can they be sure that the donation that they're making will reach the right people?
So for those, first let me give the assurance before I can ask for donations. because that's one of the issues that we have. A lot of our community organization, you give people money and they don't even send you a thank you note to say you send money. We as an institution, we have grown that many years now. Since we took over this institution, we have put together a responsible financial process. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We are tax exempt. We are accountable to any public scrutiny because we enjoy the privileges of having a internal revenue tax exempt and status. So we make sure our records are kept well. We do have a financial team that is working in place to ensure that donors receive the appropriate information for tax purposes and other related tax related needs. So we want to just to show you what we have done. So at least I will provide some assurance. So we raised over $8,000 a couple of days ago. Now we're a small organization with membership based organization. I think we're around $10,000 now. The first $8,000 we raised, the idea was that we applaud the county for the effort they're doing. The county leadership is doing some. Honorable Member Breeze, our representative there, they have been able to constitute a county-wide and disaster management team there, headed by Honorable Tonala Vaplat. They're doing their part there. So one of the things that we have said to folks and stuff, we as a non-profit organization, we have fiduciary responsibility to the IRS and also to the people that give us money. So what we established there is that in order for us to have a direct accountability in this process, we will use our Liberia program office because we have a process already. All our expenditure go through a virtual process and stuff, virtual process rather that is well accounted for. So we're using our Liberian office as the office on the ground to manage because we know how to manage our program. We already have the system set up. So what we did, the first $8,000, we sent it back home. We have them because we work directly with the hospital to make sure that we can have the list of what was urgently needed in 24 hours, 72 hours. So they give us that list. We're able to buy those items locally with some discount because of the humanitarian reasons. On the pharmacists, I want to say thank you to a lot of the pharmacists through the Phoebe Hospital. The doctor there, the chief medical officer, was able to refer also the pharmacists, the local vendors, both in Banga and also in Morovia, were able to acquire over 8,000 worth of medical supplies directly with the money that people send. We got a receipts. We'll be having a national meeting this weekend. We'll show receipts of how we spend this money and the process in which will be as much as transparent we can be. And so, because that's the hallmark what we want to do as a nonprofit community organization is to be accountable to the people that gave us their money and how we use it. None of this money going to any of our general administrative stuff. We got offices there running program, farm, computer literacy program. None of the money that we're collecting is this money we're collecting for the disaster is exclusively for disaster. Nothing going to any of our operational our normal operational budget. So I just want to assure the general public that please be a help to us. If you is our cash app is $UBCAA. That's our cash app. So he's not a Bond County associate. I text the information to you by WhatsApp if you can get it out there for us, and we really appreciate. But I just want to assure the public that every penny that we get will be fully accounted for, and we are a non-profit community organization, and we hold ourselves at highest esteem.
So indeed, let me just come in. Thanks so much for that brilliant explanation. $10,000 raised, over 70% so far there. We can report that Vice President and President-elect Joseph Yimon Boyka last year, December 31st, visited Tututa Bond County to where the accident occurred. We're trying to put that picture of a Vice President there, laying wreaths on that side. He, his wife, Prince Moi, and other officials there from the Unity Party. We see Reverend Luther Tappe and other guys there. And also we've understood that Vice President provided 10 million Liberian dollars and 200 bags of rice towards the process as his own will of identifying with the bereaved family. While the President-elect, outgoing President George, we are express sympathy to the bereaved family and ask them to take solace in the Lord, but not much is being exalted. My question is, you spending about close to 10,000 already, $8,000 has been pumped into drugs, meaning you buy drugs from pharmacy and local pharmaceutical companies or drugstores around there. What could have been done differently in terms of providing medical aid to these families of over 70% who have so far died as a result of that? Looking at the National Drug Service, the rule, the National Disaster Relief Committee.
Um, that's a great question. I took a deep breath on this one because that's the crux of our frustration. Again, as I highlighted earlier, but I want to take this time to really say our heartfelt thanks and appreciation to His Excellency the Vice President-elect of the Republic of Liberia. We also want to extend our thanks and appreciation to so many other people who have done it. I know our Vice President, Her Excellency Malanjua Howard Taylor, had made some contribution. Senator Prince Moid and all the individuals, and I think that the Deputy Speaker was there a couple of days ago. So, want to, on behalf of our national institution, UBCA, we want to say thank you for all what you have done individually with your support. But just to answer your question, this is not how we should be able to manage national crisis. This crisis of this proportion, we appreciate the individual donation. That's not to brush it aside, but it has to be a concerted effort on the national level. This is an emergency. 70, I don't know whether people don't get it. 70 human beings, young people, pregnant women, somebody who was just passing by on a motorbike trying to do their daily business. Our fellow citizens are dead, 70 of us. I don't know how much message we can carry on, how much cry we can cry as a country, and start to ask for national appeal. So just as you said, what should have been done better? We should have been able to have a national disaster team set up specifically for this issue. And so we should have directed national resources to the effort. Then all the other people who bring in bag of rice, $1,000, UBCA giving $8,000 would be added resources to this. This is a national crisis. We shouldn't be begging. We are Liberians should not be begging what is ours. We're paying taxes. We're sending money out there. We got properties there. And so when disaster comes, this is what government needs to do. It needs to stand up and protect its citizens. We're not getting that. We are not getting the national attention. As much as we appreciate the individual donation, this is a national crisis. I would have loved to see the Ministry of Health, the National Police, and all the institutions of there having daily briefing on what is happening, instead of us having to be texting people to get information from there. It is frustrating. As a national person, I'm not sleeping. People calling me 2 a.m. in the morning to tell me they lost their family member. I'm saying it with tears in my eyes. Young people, you imagine having an 18-year-old kid who have a future ahead of them, dreaming about tomorrow. Because of poverty, they probably went there to get, somebody said, oh, got to get the ones in who are alive to be persecuted. I almost told them, I said, shut up. I was a refugee. I was in Sierra Leone. I remember we used to go to the refugee camp and sit there all day from 6 a.m. in the morning to 6 p.m. in the evening to get a few cups of rice. I really wanted to just go sit down somewhere to wait for a few cups of rice. Correct. Because of poverty, because of the needs. That's why we stood on lines. You want to lose your spot for 6, 7, 8 hours just to get a few cups of rice. It happened to me. I can feel the pain of the young people going there to go get gas. As much as I don't want people to start ridiculing them because they don't have nothing to do. They're just going to go steal gas and stuff. And some people were not even stealing gas. Some people were just passing by. I mean, I'm saying I'm sorry. I'm a little bit.
No, but
it is frustrating. This should have been a national issue. Our appeal again to the president, His Excellency George Manawia. Please declare a national disaster or emergency and direct resources of this country to our people in Total Town and all our brothers and sisters in the various hospitals, and direct the national resources to this need, not only for elections. It's sad.
And Mr. we need a country that works for all of us, and not when big people kids are involved, then we pay attention. We need a country that works for all Liberians. And my frustration over the years has been um, our budget. If you look at our healthcare budget, and a whole nation, a whole country. When I say we don't even have helicopter, and it doesn't even bother people to know that we don't have emergency helicopter to fly people. We put in these burn people in pickup trucks and running them from one place to another. Look, we have to take this country serious. We have to. And people sit there and we have a $580 million budget, and we content and we happy, and we take
That's a school district budget.
yeah, and we take $73 million and put it into the healthcare and expect something different to happen when things happen. Again, we need to be serious about this country. We need to focus on what matters the most. But if people have the mindset that they're doing us a favor, that a senator can build a school and think that he's done a favor for the Liberian people, he can build a clinic. That's not the business of senators and representatives. And that's my frustration. Over the years, let's hold these executives accountable. Let them fight to put more money into the budget. That's their job, to collect more revenue. We will have oversight to ensure that they're collecting their revenue and they're doing their work. But over the years, we've not done these things. We have not held each other accountable. We have not pumped enough money into the system. And now look at disaster. What if an earthquake happened in Liberia tomorrow? We will be waiting for the international community and begging the international community when we have all of the resources to our disposal. What more can God do for our people? We got foreigners mining our gold and diamonds. We got them taking the logs out of our country. We got everything happening in our country, and yet we're asking God. This is a no-brainer. And again, maybe because I did crisis management again, I look at these things as something that could be fixed.
Mr. George, the problem is us.
Exactly.
I think we need to do some reverse psychology here. Well, the problem is us as Liberians. We let people, or people who serve, have been appointed to serve in our government. We see them as like they are, like we obligated to them, instead of the other way around. A senator or representative goes somewhere, like some instances, some of our guests come here, and when you tell them, when they come here, we give them all the platitude, all the honors and stuff. When we go over there to even get them, for them to even have an audience for you, is a problem. And they forget to know the serving the interests of the people. The people can fire you. The people paying you. Just as you said. But we as Liberians, we need to have a voice. We need to, maybe some of us being so quiet, trying to be sophisticated, and a lot of people who make a lot of crazy noise get all the attention. Again, I'm not trying to disparage anybody here, but we as Liberians, instead of us, I said to you the other day, we're not going to be quiet anymore. Look, for instance, look at our county. We have a college there. Over $7 million has been invested into that building. Just the building. I'm not even talking about the service and stuff. We can't even have a quality education there because we don't have the resources to do that. We just started a computer literacy program in the Banga area there. One of the few assets for young people to have computer. Who goes to school this 21st century, don't have access to a desktop computer? Graduating from high school don't even know how a keyboard works. And that's the issues that we're trying to deal with in our country. But this is the country that got and China Union. This is a country that has MSG Go. This is a country that is getting these concessions agreements has been signed, or memorandum of understanding, or backdoor deals has been made, and these people getting billions and billions of dollars from there and leaving us wasted. And the few people who supposed to be there provide oversight, they give them the money and they squander the money, and we don't hold them accountable. Bon County had more than a couple of years ago, we had indictments of people for that college. Some folks were indicted in our country. Where is that indictment? What legal process, legal recourse has taken place? But we all been quiet. This is the time to hold ourselves accountable so that we can hold other people accountable. If we are the leaders of our country, community leaders, and stuff, we say, oh, I don't want to play politics because this is politics. Hell, this is not politics. This is accountability.
And I think we need to let the Liberian people know, Kamal, that the representatives, the senators, government officials, that's your taxpayer dollar that paying them. It's the resources of the country that is paying them. We put food on the table for government official children. We send the children to school. We should hold them accountable. And the mindset now has to be, we the Liberian people got to let them know that they are not doing us a favor. They've always done us a favor. They've always, a tragedy of this magnitude happened, and you walk down there and give $2,000, and you work for, you in the system, you senator, representative, and other stuff. I would not say don't do, but that's not your role. Your role is to put in the funds, make appropriations, fight for your people, get money in there. Equally so, we have to hold people accountable. Like you say, that means if we don't run this country as a real government, if we don't run this country and hold each other accountable, all of these things that we're talking about not work. Again, it comes from the head down. If the president wants people prosecuted, everything in our country will go straight. Because it's not about friendship. It's not about this, but we don't care about the masses. We don't care about the ordinary people until it affects us. Until my son is directly involved, I don't care. And then when something of that nature happens, we come and play politics with it. When kids are dying, it was poverty that led those people, even though they knew the danger, they took the risk to get a gallon of gasoline. It was poverty. No opportunities. And yet, we who are supposed to give them opportunities, we want to hold them accountable for their actions.
No, we don't want to hold ourselves accountable.
No, we never do, because we're doing them a favor. A whole city like Totota, Salala, other things, no ambulance there that government own. Even the police officer that are down there, he even got the equipment or police vehicle or other stuff. What can one person or two persons do? All the representatives then got the police officer then manning them, and senator then got security guards manning them. How much police officers do we have in our country to have all of our senators and representatives got police officers are the bodyguards and other stuff? We do not have enough. And even when we have not pumped enough resources into our national security to provide the kind of a security that they need to do that. How many patrols do we have? I've been to Liberia. How many times do you see police vehicle patrolling? We don't. They don't even have gasoline. Some of those police vehicles got to go and hustle to put gasoline in their own vehicles. They don't even take pay. These are things that we have a whole government. We say we got government. We got people who are running our government. And yet police officers, first responders, you will see government vehicle passing by first responders. And what if you went in front and your car made accident and the first responders will take care of you at JFK? You don't even pay them. What do we expect? That those people who go into the hospital now will survive from burns when we don't have the facility, we're not flying out of the country, we're not making the appropriation to fly them out of the country? $2,000, $5,000 cannot help. But those are donations that we who are outside our government are supposed to be making. That's not government officials should be making 5,000 and 6,000 and 10,000. That's not their jobs. We should have an emergency right now where the Senate and the House get into an emergency section, appropriate money to fly some of these people out of the country. But why would you fly or Peter out of the country when Peter is nobody? Why would you want to spend $300,000 for Peter when Peter is nobody?
You're going that far. You're going that far. Why by now JFK and all the Phoebe and other institutions don't even have the medical supplies? Just the I don't know how the
people who are running those facilities can take their children out of the country to Ghana, to the United States, to anywhere. So why should
one of the directors, Mrs. Kofa, on Spoon TV the other day? I appeared there briefly, explaining to us that JFK don't have the resources.
But why should JFK have the resources when
Mr. George, for 20 or 40 more patients, burn patients, we don't have the supplies. What if, as you indicated, there was another tsunami or something that has $200,000, 200,000 people or 100,000 people in the hospital? What will happen?
Would they be dead?
This is sad.
Again, as president of Bond County Association, it's sad. It's laughable because when you look at it, it's something that we can manage. We have the resources. If we just cultivate corruption, if we start saying that foreigners coming to our country, they're doing us a favor as well, that they need to come here for investment. No, these people, business people looking for opportunities to make money. We are not begging foreign investment into our country. We are asking them to partner with us to come into our country and invest. So we cannot downplay our laws, give them everything, and then the people who are supposed to benefit. There's no way you can be mining gold and diamond or iron ore from a facility, from a terrain, and that place has no development. Not at all. The people benefit, they don't even have benefit. And we got these senators and representatives. I think most of our problems come from the House, our Senate, and our House of Representatives. Because there's
those are the people who appropriate funding. Yeah?
Funds. They make the laws. The executive branch of government, they're executing the laws that they make. And if they don't execute, they're supposed to hold these people accountable.
That's why we elect them for.
But can you imagine this House we call the finance minister, or the Senate will call the finance minister, and they don't even show up? In which country they will call the finance minister to come, or the public works minister, they don't show up?
Yeah, you're going to jail.
You're going to jail. Yeah. So I feel your pain. I think since you talk about UBCCA, I've been to Banga, I've seen your facility. I think you guys are doing well, but I think you guys need to have more meetings with your senators and representatives. You know, you guys need to get more involved with them. It's time to start holding our people accountable.
Do you have access to your senators? That's what I'm going to be my next question. Do you have access to your lawmakers?
Yeah, no. One of the things that I can answer that quickly. One of the opportunities we have had, is just having. We do have access to our lawmakers. I mean, access is one thing. Deliveries is another thing. We have access to our lawmaker. Honorable Prince Moye picks up my phone anytime I call him. Honorable Member Breeze does the same thing too. So we do have the connect. We do have the network, the communication link there. Well laid out. We privilege one of the persons who runs our program, works directly with Honorable Prince Moye. It's through his blessing, he allowed his staff to devote his volunteer time. Some of his volunteer time for us. So we enjoying the privileges of our senators. But just what Mr. George is saying, this is a national conversation we need to have. This is a conversation that perhaps we need to start taking it by county, but at the same time, it has to be it needs to be a general conversation we need to have. For instance, China Union, I'm using them as an example. We have set up a committee to review, headed by Dr. George Toto, to review the concession agreement with China Union. Right. Because if people who go to Burma and say somebody, the other day, one of our representatives have to go to Burma there to give $500 to help pay salary for people who works in the hospital there. When he posted his stuff, it sounded like that's a good gesture, but I was almost saying, he said, dude, man, the representative elect, I said, dude, that's $500?
Yeah. That's, I think we should put in a law that, that representatives and senators should not be making donation or giving money to individuals, because they use this giving money. I mean, how much does a senator make or a representative make to be giving money here out? I think if they stop giving money like they do here, they will work hard, because if they want to be reelected, they got to do something in the districts. And if I'm not giving money out to people, I have to do something more than that to be known or to do that. But
we're creating corrupt leaders.
Yeah, we are.
We're making our leaders to be corrupt. I'm not trying to make an excuse for them.
No.
But Mr. George, sorry, I just wanted to add that. You imagine, this is appalling. Imagine every representative would be able, you representative with a little, whatever salary you're getting, you're required to build bridges, you build schools, you're supposed to build clinics, you're supposed to be able to get handouts to people and all those stuff. So as a result, the lawmakers is there looking for the brown envelope so that they can be able to go and do these projects, because that's how they get reelected.
Exactly.
In this country, it's completely the opposite.
And that's what they should not do.
Our representative, when you invite them, some of them driving that little Prius or Toyota and coming to meet with you. And sometimes if you invite them, they come to meet with you. You're not even going to meet with them. Exactly. When Keith Ellison was representative, we invited him many times to our community. He drove his little car and stuff, and I think he's saving some gas and saving.
Anthony General now, he still drives the same car.
He drives around with no police or no security. He comes in and talks to us and hear from us. Guess what? It's sometimes when you even invite them to your program, they don't even give you money.
They can't.
But it's a completely the opposite in Liberia. When the representative comes to this program, we expect the representative to take this money from their pocket and donate to these efforts. And I'm not saying those donations are not good gestures, but it should not be the obligation of the lawmaker to fill the bridges.
When I was honorary counsel, yeah, I had the flexibility to do that, but I never did. I would tell them, say, government, we don't donate, because once you go down that path, you will have to give everybody money. It doesn't work that way. Your job is to go into the Senate or the House and fight for your people. Look, I will not sit here and say there's not the complexity of government where resources are scarce. Even in the United States, we have scarce resources. You know, but fight for your people. Stop this idea of building little clinic. Stop this idea of building little school and other stuff. That's not your job. Your job is to fight for your people, appropriate funds, and do the work. And even when funds are appropriated, that we're talking about the Bon County University or college, people squander the money. Because they take the money again to be able to give to their people so that they can be re-elected and other stuff.
And sadly, the lawmakers sometimes the one that's signing the check for the thing. They're appropriating the money. They're authorizing. They're signing the check.
Then we got
referring the
construction companies
and
or
stuff
all of these things. And there's impunity. Nobody cares. Nobody hold these people accountable. So I believe in pressure group. I believe in unions. That's why you people are organized. Your job is to try to hold them to the fire. You know, like you said, we're reviewing the China Union. There's no way Bon County, Bon Mines, where we have them mining our iron ore, that the hospital employees are not paid. You know, the roads are not well paved. I mean, what's wrong with us? Why in America? Yeah, like I always say, Firestone. You think if Firestone was in America, they would be tapping rubber? They will have tappers and the children tapping rubber. They will have the ATV with machine on it, tapping the rubber, putting it from the bucket into the carts. So where have we come that we just think that we know human being like these people? Why do we think the white man is better than us? That is smarter than us? Why is it that everywhere that is lighter, they got better outcomes? Look at the Arab countries. Look at them. I mean, in as much as they got their own things, they're still much better. How come we, as Black people, got this serious problem? Even we who are educated. We have the resources, folks. For Liberians to always think that we don't have money. We don't have money. The words that are coming out of our mouth, we're not even working. Because 90% of the people say we got money. But how don't we have money? We got gold, we got diamonds, we got rubber, we got iron, we got 6 major rivers running through our country. We got rain.
Less than 6 million in population.
Less than 6 million. This government should be writing us checks for living.
Which government? The government.
I mean, the statement we're making here is not attributing to only one government. No. And say, this is our national issue. This is our national issue.
With this government, it's time immemorial. We have to start looking at Liberia from where we have the resources. It's the innovation that we don't have. It's the innovation that we don't have, one. It's the political will that we don't have, two. And we as a people must agree that we want development. You know, when I heard the incoming president saying in 100 days, all the roads will be pliable, drivable, and people think it's impossible. It's totally not impossible. Nothing is impossible. But when you have small mind, then you don't see possibilities. And that's some of our issue. If I was, again, when I say Liberia as a country, we don't have airplane. We don't have helicopter. We don't have boats. We don't have ship. Look, we have to think big. We think too small and we think about ourselves. We think about ourselves and our family. Once my children got food to eat, I can send them to good school. I really don't care about the rest of the country. That mentality has to change. The children that died in that fire hazard could have been my son. He could have just been in his vehicle passing by and got burned. We need to think about ourselves as well, but think, had it been me? Yes, I've been refugee too. I understand where they're coming from. If you don't give them opportunities, if those children were in a laboratory, in a computer class, if they were in schools, if they were doing the things they were supposed to do, maybe the casualty would have been reduced. But poverty is a disease. It's like cancer. And we are not even looking at our country to eradicate poverty. But yet we got a government. We got agencies. We beg our international partners all the time to give us money. And we hardly see where the monies go. Look at our road fund issue that we just talked about, Nathan. Look at how much contractors that we have. Look at how much monies were paid. Look at our roads. Nobody is held accountable. This one country like elephant meat. Everybody come and eat and go. No, total impunity. At what point do we stop and look at the man in the village and say that that man who was born in the village is not, he didn't choose to be born in that village. But we who are given God's right to be educated and have the wherewithal, that's our responsibility to help them. How far have we come as a nation that we are not our brother's keeper?
Nope.
Okay. So that's passionate Jackson George there, and
it is frustrating.
The United Bank president there speaking of the situation in Bond County. Let's give you some other information here. We've seen that the LEC board, Money Captain, donated to the fire victim there of 200,000 Liberian dollars recently. And so more support. So Reverend Luther Tappe also gave his little mite of $700. Other people are also chipping in. That's Money Captain. They're doing the donation. And one thing that caught my attention, you mentioned of security officer, CDL, the police officer behind Money Captain, the LEC boss. What kind of gun will you be holding to go to sympathize with fire victims? You holding such a gun in Totuta Bond County. I mean, I'm like, when I saw this picture, I'm like, what kind of picture is this? What will you be holding such a gun behind Money Captain as a police officer? We paid you. He's one of the senior police officer. He's always behind Money Captain. Look at the kind of gun in this man's hand, going to identify with fire victim. How stupid it is to have such a gun. What is the harm on Money Captain's life in Totuta Bond County for a police officer to hold such a gun to identify with fire victims? And I mean, these are some of the things.
One of the things I really want to appeal to, sorry for cutting you off, but just looking at the picture, I really want to appeal to a lot of these folks who doing these donations to just stay away from the photo ops. This is it's get annoying to me. I'm sorry to say it. His Excellency, the Vice President, those are national leaders. I mean, the Excellency President-elect, those are national leaders who show up to this event. But to have the LEC managing director, I'm sure another person will show up again 2 days from now. You can channel these donations. We're all showing there to show all these photo ops. We appreciate every little penny. It counts. It's important. But this thing show more of like a political posture than even the donations. I'm sorry to say, hey,
I don't even see it from the political point. I see it as, let me go and show my face and do favor for these people. Yes,
I agree. I think more of that than even the
LEC can make donation. I think they have social corporate responsibility. I think they got funds for emergency and other stuff. I think that's fair enough. LEC can do it, like he said. If we had a national appropriation of $2 million and LEC come, that's added resources to airlifting some of these people out of the country to seek treatment in the United States and elsewhere. But again, the way we live, the threat to our lives, the people that we pay. How many police officers are in Total? Let's do a count. I would like to know how many police officers are assigned to Kakata, how many safety officers or safety or people from the safety departments are in Salala or Total, and how many police officers are running behind senators and representatives all the time, or government officials. I don't even know if we have 200,000 police officers in the country, that we dividing them with all of these people them like this. I mean, it's I hope maybe one day I'll be government official too, and I might have my own security. I don't know, but I don't know if I can stomach that. I think I would more or less hire private security, my own security, than to have.
Maybe as a private security is honorable money Captain
Yeah,
has.
it could be private security. I don't know, but just to see that in our own country.
It's not private. He's from
No,
their
but what I'm
police.
saying is to have that kind of a security in the country shows that something is wrong.
Yeah.
Something is wrong. You know, and some of these security, you can have security that can come with you undercover cops that people don't even know the security. You know, I will hope that we can change our mindset. It shows the presence, it shows your power. You know, that's why the Liberian people are afraid of our leaders. You know, they're always afraid when they come. Everybody.
Again, our national, our appeal, Mr. George, our appeal to you and others who have the platform is to continue to give us, some of us who don't make the loud noises, to continue to give us the platform so that we can be able to express to us some of the work that we do at the same time, be able to have the platform to educate our people. And the idea that our folks back home will feel like a representative or a senator, they are obligated to them instead of the other way around. And those are conversations we need to have. This is not exclusively to Bon County. This is other places. We got some fine representatives and senators there and stuff, but this is the business as usual. Sometimes, these things then become the repeated kind of behavior and it's become acceptable in society.
Right.
So the senator or representative fees that they're obligated to build these roles and spend this money out of their own personal pockets, and re-elections will be coming for them soon. They got to start finding funding to do it, and that's how people get corrupt.
And then they get there, they got to get the money back.
They got to get the money back. They got to pay
the money and ran a campaign.
It's a collective effort that we need to start doing, educating our people, holding the people accountable. Again, we'll be asking to review a lot of the indictments that are related to the college. We want to be able to look at that and see where the legal cases have gone. We want to be able to review the China Union and a mineral agreement that has been signed and see how much impact it's having. Those places that work, we congratulate them. Those places that needs attention, we call national attention to it. We'll be looking at the MSG goal memorandum of understanding on lease agreement that they made with the government of Liberia. We need we as a county organization. That's why I said earlier, we need to hold ourselves accountable. We can't continue to be quiet and silent on the issues and just say, oh, that Liberia this, that Liberia that. I told someone, if you elected me to be a national president of UBCA, it is my obligation to tell you how your resources is being used in the country. The same way you expect me to hold the senators and representatives accountable, you should hold me accountable to tell you how resources of that country is expended. Because I represent over thousands of Bon County, over hundreds of thousands of Bon County citizens in this country and in the Americas. They are sure they want to know how China Union works. They want to know what is happening to MSG Go, what are their social responsibilities, what is happening in our country, what is being appropriate for our country, how a national budget, the benefits on the national budget, all those things that they need to know that. I think we need to start thinking beyond. As you said, Mr. Johnson, we start thinking big. We as a county organization, especially on the national level, you not just for you to go to a conference and go stand or dance and say, oh yeah, we're raising funds while we're doing this. You got to start.
Come on. Do you know as an association you can write China Union directly and tell them about the market?
No, don't try to take it. Don't try to take it.
What I'm saying,
I'm just joking. That's the
what I'm
direction
saying.
Yeah.
We have to be a part of the process.
Exactly.
Yes, you got the leadership on the ground. You got stuff. You're reviewing that. You can write China Union directly and tell them about the things that they're doing that you feel is not correct.
That's where we go.
Maybe they have the China embassy here too.
Yep.
Maybe send a letter to the Chinese embassy there. If you have to go demonstrate in front of the Chinese embassy and tell them how they're doing bad in our country down there, maybe that's some of the radical steps we need to take.
That's the direction we're going.
We can sit down and say the people in Liberia will take on and do it. The people in Liberia, again, poverty is a disease. They use poverty at the disadvantage of the masses. So those people might not be able to do it. Look, we have 50 states. We have 2 senators in all of our states. We got taxpayer dollar going to Liberia to do some of these projects. And if we feel as United States citizens or as Liberian American that our taxpayer dollar going to Liberia, we can see nothing about it. Why don't we talk to our senators and say we need accountability? We have a stake as well in our country. But we cannot just sit down and allow an American company to go to Liberia, pay minimum wage that they will not pay here in America. You know, that's abuse like they did on Naki. So we
And
need
that's
to put,
and
we
that's
need
the
to put pressure
direction we
on.
that's the direction we go, and we as an institution has we taking this at a larger level. We these corporations and some of these folks who in the country that are working for this corporation, those are messengers. This
Correct.
corporation has investment. They got stocks in the London Stock Exchange, the New York Stock
Exactly.
Exchange. They got other places. They got corporate responsibilities.
They do.
You know, we need, again, as we indicated,
And they don't want noise, right? They
yeah,
don't
we
want
want
noise.
to want to review this concessions agreement, and the places that they're doing well will deploy them. The places that they are not doing well will start with the government of Liberia, because it's government of Liberia, including our senators, our representatives, is their obligation to provide oversight into these institutions and the business that they're doing. If we don't get redress there, we'll start pushing it out to the corporate world. You know, if we can't just continue to be silent on the national issue.
I have faith that the incoming administration will look at a lot of things. I believe that President-elect Boyka will look at the many things that are happening with his long-standing experience in government. I think he's seen everything. And I think he will come.
We're hopeful. Yeah.
Yes, we're hopeful that Liberia will change. And my advice to the incoming president is to sit down with his ministers and ask them, do you want to go do favor for the Liberian people, or you want to work for the Liberian people? The ones that have the mindset of a favor, get rid of them, bring in the people who want to be accountable to the Liberian people, so that they can come in and work in the interest of the Liberian people. This country will never be the same again. This country is not going back to the same again, because people like you speaking out now, people like me who've never, I've been diplomatic, I've been sitting down on the Frenches and saying, you know, they got to do it this way, do it this way. But let me ask you a question, Kamo. If all the good people stay away, the people who think they can do well, if they stay away and think that government is not the place for them to go.
Mr. George, I can point to an example. I'm not saying I'm the perfect guy yet, but we've been blessed to have a really good team of people who work together. Mr. Leo Molba from Atlanta, our chief of operations, and our board, and everybody have been working. But I remember a few years when I sat down and told you, I said, hey, I've been part of the United Bond County Association's activities for a while now, for over 10, 15 years, and so I don't see the direction we go. And you told me, say, it will not be different when you don't get there. So I just using your statement to me when I first talked to you, and you said, if you have a vision, have an idea, you got to sit on the table. If you're not on the table, you're on the menu. And I can still remember that, and that's some of the motivating factors. I say, let me take over. I'm not the most smartest person in the room. I always say the smartest guy who is the one who brings the smarter people around them. So we were able to access some good resources of our folks in the community, people like Honorable Leo Molba and other folks and stuff who got community at heart, want to see the difference and stuff. You say, you know what? Sometimes let's put all the political engagement aside and see to serve. And fortunate for us as a community, we have already been blessed and being able to have some real tangibles. We have a community learning center. We got a computer literacy program. We have a community farm. We just graduated over 40 to 50 women from the sewing literacy program and soft skill building program. So in the last 3 years, this community has transformed for the better just because we had the right people then doing this stuff. I'm not trying to disparage the people in the past, but we can see some visibility in terms of what we are doing as an institution. It's because the right people are there to do it right now. We have a team of volunteers. We always used to feel indifference of our people, our young people then back home. People eat money, do this and stuff. We have ultimate professionals back home. The young man who runs our program, you know, one who even started and the gentleman who run it, Noah Kellen, Charles. I mean, and the team of volunteers, those young people are more professional than some of us who have lived in the West over the years. That's how much of the assets and resources we have there. I think what is lacking is the opportunities that we need to be able to provide. But I mean, now we're on the table. There's no turning back. I said to my wife,
if you're not on the table, you're on the menu.
Yeah, we got to be in it for the long haul.
Yeah. And Kamo, you know, one of the things I've also learned from my experience, the people who don't know, the people who cannot do, they will fight tooth and nail to get there. The people who know and have the character will always believe that they should be called to do. Why am I going there? If they don't call me, I'm not going to go there. So they sit on the fringes and continue to complain because they know what is right, but it's not being done. Remember, when the capables are not available, the availables become capable.
That's a good one.
And when the availables,
you need to write a book of parables. So those things are powerful.
when the
That's not
capables
maybe to start working for you this year.
When the availables are functioning, the capables continue to complain because they think they're too smart and they don't need to get their hands dirty to make it work because somebody's supposed to call them from the high office and say, "Come and work for me." It doesn't work that way. So in short, Kamo, we want to say sorry for what happened in Boncante. You know, my wife is from Boncante as well.
You still paying out dairy, but every year we put the price up.
And the problem with your Boncante people, every day it's a dairy. You know, I don't understand. But I think what happened to Boncante could happen to Bassa, could happen to Nimba, could happen to Lofa, could happen anywhere in the country. And so I think we need we have a national disaster agency. I think it need to be strengthened. I think we need to do a system audit again of all of the things that is working and not working, so that we can fix this once and for all. I think the 55th legislature should stop the issue of making personal donation, billing breaches, billing this. That's not their job. Their job is to appropriate funds, hold people accountable, and make it work. That's their job. And it is frustrating to see people donating $2,000 when you're in government, because your job is not to do that. I mean, we all can do that, but legislature and senator and representative, I pray they don't do that anymore. Let them appropriate money. Some of those kids that are dying need to be flown out of that country. And $5,000 cannot do it. We need millions. Some of those children will be burned. We'll have that situation for 9-10 months.
Mr. George, we're getting almost just before we leave, just to give you a clear picture of what is happening. The critical patients, the percentage that are going to survive, sadly, will be about 10%. Again, I don't have no medical history.
Or maybe less.
Or less. I'm just talking about what I'm hearing on the ground. So I'm not saying there was any medical record.
So we haven't flown anybody out of the country yet?
No. So everybody that who was burned in this country, that you have some level of degree of burn, you still survive. The chances of surviving in that country is pretty much zero. That's how sad it is. So every day I'm saying it with tears in my eyes. Every day we're getting almost half a dozen people dead. The resources, if resources were allocated, they had an opportunity, they had a shot to life. I sat down and told my wife, I said, I wish I was a multimillionaire. I just go and just take everybody out of there and fly them there to get treatments. Resources in the country, appropriation cannot be made. Our poor senator is begging. Why Senator Moy has to be begging fellow senators to appropriate resources? Why?
Yeah.
It's sad. The poor senator is not sleeping. Our lawmaker has become the national disaster head of the National Disaster Agency, Honorable Member Breeze. This lady is supposed to be in Congress making law, but now she's become a disaster relief agent director. That's sad, disgusting, and it makes me mad to the core.
And come on, one of the things that also happen is corruption. When we have a corrupt nation where people are taking funds to do other things with them, we don't have no money left. And the sad thing about it is that the people who have taken the most out of us are not willing to even give it back. You know, they're not even willing to give it back. 5,000, 10,000, no. The people who, so corruption has killed us. Look at our budget. Even the money that we put in the budget for healthcare, some people take it, even though it's not enough.
Man, thank you for the opportunity, man. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to air I know I'm a little emotional here, but it's frustrating. Just imagine what I'm dealing with when I get from here. are going to make calls because of the time differences. I'll be calling senators, representatives, doctors, and this and stuff. This is almost like a full-time job. I do my own little small business, so it give me at least that little flexibility. But I was just telling somebody, I said, my daughter here, who is the manager, I think she's getting ready to fire me yet. Really almost 3/4 of my day. I got since being on air, I got over phone calls and texts and stuff, and then we're supposed to go to Global Health Ministries to get a suitcase. So SOS, anybody out there who going to Liberia, please contact me. 612-986-3151. We got some suitcases that we're trying to send there with some medical supplies. We shouldn't be doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
But we have become the national disaster agency right now for our government, including our senator and our representative. And I feel sorry for them. Remember, Breeze, when you see her, she's burned out. That I told her the other day, I said, sis, you got to be careful. Because you can get burned out, all the emotion and things that you're dealing with, something can happen to you. The senator there, the other day, he was Senator Moye and Senator Johnny Behe. I heard that they bring some of their wives and family going. I mean, this stuff is ridiculous. This has to be, this disaster and all the other disasters that have happened before needs to show us a lesson as a country that we can do better. And our appeal to this government, again, my appeal to His Excellency President George, we are please declare a national disaster or emergency, the right resources to help our brothers and sisters. Again, some of these young people can be fly out of, some of these people and victims can be fly out of the country to go to Ghana and other places that got a little bit more sophisticated than us to survive. Every citizen counts. Every citizen is important, whether you're from the village, whether you're from a kid, as long as you're citizen of Republic of Liberia, your life is as important as the president or as the vice president, as the senator, as any other person. Let's redirect our resources to help our brothers and sisters. It is frustrating. Again, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity, and I hope that other media can be able to take the messages. Let's direct attention to our people. It's critical. And thank you to all our community members that are donating. Please, UBC, $ UBCAA, every penny that you send to us will be well spent, and you will get all your records. And so we are a nonprofit 501c3 community registered organization with the IRS. We will make sure every penny that you give us is accounted for. KMTV, as always, thank you, folks, for the opportunity. It's just giving us the opportunity just to air our view. I'm sorry if we offended some folks here tonight. That means we're doing a good job and stuff and things. Just because we got to offend more people in order to be able to get results.
Indeed, Bama Cody, thanks so much. We are KMTV. That's why we are here to give voice to the voiceless. And we'll say thanks for the time coming on. And this is the platform. Feel free to give us any update. You want to do more fundraising. Already you have sent about 8,000, raised 10,000 already, and you need more support. So the Cash App number will keep rolling on our screen. We keep sharing this broadcast throughout the world. Thanks so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Mr. Jackson George, you listened to that. He was emotional, saying all of these difficulties they are going through. The lawmakers are knocking those at base. He too, while in the U.S. as head of the association, United Bong County Association in the U.S., they are raising support. Why should they be looking for petty jokes that should be in Liberia? With all of these resources we have, why would they be buying drugs from pharmacy? Up to 8,000 United States dollars jobs. What can we do as a people differently in Liberia? So that's the president of United Bong Association and Jackson George. They have been venting out their frustration over the process. So these big stories we're still following. As you know, James Etta Howard, what they call it, Justice in Chamber, has put a halt to the confirmation hearing of Frank Musa Ding, who was appointed by President George Weah. Likewise, Samora Wolokodi, who President Weah appointed to the Liberia Revenue Authority. to replace Thomas Doe now. That's the developing story there from our reporter Jackie Dennis in Liberia. And we understand that hey, there's another situation with the Glorious Musu Scott case. It says that the case let's go I'm trying to get that information with the Gloria Busu Scott case for that is in Liberia. As you know, they've already uh, came down with a ruling the jurors, so there will be a final sentence seen there tomorrow. So these are all of the developments we are getting from our reporter Jackie Dennis, and all of the petition we have evidence and copies of all of the petitions filed by the Unity Party folks and the ruling from James Etta Howard Wolo call it the rate of prohibition sign. But then let me see if we can pull that off for our audience to view this rate and see. This is the document, Jackson, that was signed and issued in Monrovia. As you see, the Unity Party versus the Liberian Senate through its chair Abbott Chie and Drew Howard Taylor. That's the rate there that was signed for. It means that they have received it. These are all the signatures and dates of those who sign and receive it. So before somebody say, "Oh, I receive it, I see it," so it has been signed for there in Liberia. So things are falling apart. We hope the center can hold. People are flexing out their powers. Like you said, president have the power. Senate have the power, the people to have the power to run to the Supreme Court. And that's the situation there. Time is not in our favor. Jackson Josh, you want to say something? Should I not recall you?
Well, I'm not a public servant, so but Nathan, I am hopeful again that in 2024, Liberians at home and abroad will begin to take this country serious. For many years, we have downplayed our country. We have a few people who have managed to rule our country, to manage us, and we all been so afraid because one, like we saw auditors dead. We all been afraid to die. We all been afraid to be killed. We all been afraid to be flogged. We all been afraid to be in prison. And so we all just shut up and allow this country to go the way it's been, where people would embezzle or steal with all fear. People would just take resources with all fear of the repercussions, knowing very well that the resources that they're taking away from us. It's like you come into my home and take something right in my face and walk away, and you know that I'm going to do nothing with you. So I'm hopeful that there's a new day in Liberia, that we as a nation, as a people, will begin to see our country from the point where it is all of us responsibility. Because like I said, no one person, the president of Liberia cannot develop Liberia alone, neither a county or the Senate or the House. But most of our problem lies within the House of Representatives and the Senate. There's no check and balance. There's no independence. Most of the time, when a political party comes in, it's look like we just got to follow everything that is said. Some of the ministers are more powerful than the entire Senate. I've never seen where one minister is more powerful than the entire Senate or the entire House. Some of the individuals in government, because of the proximity to the president, has no respect for anybody, even the law. And so we have to navigate that path. We have to understand that we are public servants, and that we are public servants, that we are civil servants, and we are accountable to the Liberian people. But the wealth of this country has to be shared, and this wealth of this country has never been shared. That's why we have poor infrastructure, poor educational system, poor healthcare system, poor everything. When foreigners are mining millions of our country resources and taking it. If you will remember, I think there was a diamond that was found, And I heard that the value of the diamond was 12 million, but the diamond was sold for 3.5 million. If the value of the diamond is 12 million, you sold it for 3.5 million. Tell me what was the benefit to the nation? You know, I mean, business got to make profit, but that profit was way too much. But few people decide to benefit while the masses suffer. And it's time for the masses to understand that they have a stake in the country as well. Running beyond senators and representatives give you tokens. Those times are gone. If I give you, let me teach you how to fish. But what we're doing, we're giving them fish. And that's the problem we've had in this country, because as citizens, as responsible citizens, we do not know our responsibility. We've left our responsibility to our leaders. And that is why we are treated the way we are treated. But it's time now for us as Liberians to begin to understand that this country is for all of us, and we have a vote. Like you voted almost 50 senators and representatives out of the legislature. You voted out a president. You're now beginning to understand that you have the power. And that power is inherent in the people, And that is why we need to use our power every 6 years or every time we have an election. The issue of giving us tokens gone. Those children, if they had the opportunities, if they were in school, if they were in after-school programs, if they had vocational training, if they had other things, maybe the casualty would have been lower. If they have food on the table, if their parents could provide for them, they were not taking a risk to do that. Some will have, but all of them will not have taken a risk because they don't have the opportunities. Remember, we who have our kids will never do that easily. And that's the problem that we face. We don't care about the masses. And for our country to develop, the leadership has to fear the masses.
Yeah, leadership has to fear the masses. We've been looking at all of these things in Liberia, talking to the president of United Bank Association, looking at the appointment and rejection of Associate Justice and the LRA new boss, Samara Wolokoti. And we'll be looking at the Truckers Association. They are protesting in Liberia, likewise former contractors or current employees, how you call it, of the National Rule Fund. They are protesting, calling on the transitional team to intervene. We say thanks so much for always following the Diaspora Talk and always contributing to this program. Wherever you find yourself, this is KMTV. We are open for business. Jackson George, any your final party comment before I ask you for your final party comment. Let me cool you down small with this great raw talent. Okay, Jackson Josh. Let's hear your party comment.
I think Liberia don't lack talent. I think we have talent. We lack opportunities. You know, so yeah. I think again, Nathan. I think thank you for bringing that in. I think it was a good. Again, Liberia doesn't lack talent. We lack opportunities. So I want to depart by saying that I'm hopeful. This country, if you look now, we have so many social media platforms: Spoon, KMTV. All of these individuals with their own platforms, people are talking, people are speaking out. Liberia will never be the same. The incoming administration will have to understand that Liberia will never be the same. I think the incoming administration will fire more people than ever before. People will resign their jobs because of allegations and corruption. And so this country would move forward. This country will grow. This country will develop. Like I said, we all might not reach the promised land, but if we build the foundation for our grandchildren unborn to see the promised land, then we've done well. At where we are right now, our grandchildren would not even see hell if we continue on this trajectory. So I'm praying that we as Liberians will have a mindset to develop our nation, that we too as citizens, we have a responsibility just as our leaders have responsibility. And so we need to take our responsibility serious. Our neighborhood's got to be clean. We need pipe-borne water. We need good educational system. We need good healthcare system so that those kids that burn in the total fire could have better healthcare. And even if the outcome was bad, we know that we gave them the best, you know. And so those are some of the things that we are hopeful that the incoming administration, through the leadership of President-elect Boycott, who's been in government for a long time and has seen a lot, will make the changes necessary to bring relief to our people. And we all need that. It is sad to see poverty killing our people, abject poverty, and yet we have the people who are supposed to be making the laws, the people who are supposed to be making the appropriation, are the ones who are donating to us. It is sad. I'm hopeful that they will make appropriation. They will put money into the disaster emergency disaster relief agency so that the agency can function. If you look at it, the reason why we have not activated the agency is because there's no money there. There's no money there. So that's all I have to say, Nathan. We need a responsible leadership to make a difference, where we believe that all citizens after election, all citizens are citizens of Liberia, and there's no more partisan. We should stay away from that. 6 years from now, we'll go back into campaign, and when that time comes, you can be sedition, you can be unity party, but at this point, the president is the president of the nation. So we should all look at it from that point and build our country. But it is painful for me because, again, I come from the background where rising tide should raise all boat, and that's my own understanding. And for the boat, for only a few boats to be rising while many of the boats are still flat on the water, is not right when the tides are rising, and that's where my frustration comes in. So thank you again for this opportunity, and I look forward to Friday.
Rising tides must raise all boats. Jackson Josh, I learned that from you. Thanks so much. That's the second. The last year was if you're not on the table, you will be on the menu. Now it's rising tides must raise all boats.
It should.
Okay. Thanks so much, and have yourself a wonderful time. And let's keep our vision and work to build Mama Liberia. Have yourself a wonderful time from Liberia.
Thank you.
That wasn't even on the government budget. It was this government, this administration. Why are you reporting me? Why are you reporting me? Why are you reporting me?
Madam, sorry, but we heard that we saw the health practitioners that were actually firstly protesting black the meat entrance.
You need my permission before you can.
No, we saw them, and then interacting, make it a plea or whatsoever.
Do you work here? Yeah, please leave. Security.
I don't work here, but I'm a journalist, man. I'm a journalist. What am I doing?
We want to be on camera. We want to be on camera. They were here. We want to be on camera. They were here. Security, they were here. We want to be on camera. Some to go here. Oh yeah, come tomorrow. We want to be on camera. Come here. Oh yeah, come tomorrow. They were here. The journalists were here. They were here. We want to be on camera. They were here. Also, you want to lie to us. Oh, you want to lie to us. Oh, you want to lie to us. You want to see us. You want to see us. Oh, yeah, who's to be weighed. So that message go to them. So at the end of the day, they are the one who give us that money to pay. Without having that information disseminated, you cannot stand abruptly account in the morning and start to enforce it. That's the reason why you will stand with us. We shut down the port. We always reluctant to call you to leave work because we know the role we play is pivotal. The role we play in this economy is crucial to our revenue generation. This is not to our happiness or our satisfaction to delay or to put hindrance to government revenue. We need a revenue for the country, but we also need the state authorities, national authorities to recognize that you cannot do things to enforce isolation. We need to agree, we need to understand where the money going. Who are these companies? They give us appropriate time to disseminate the information. Without that, we will not support you. So we are glad we'll never go back to work in our port. The port will remain shut down until we get around the table.
About the transition team, one of the transition team members just stated that it's difficult. They didn't allow the people to go through the financial process. They can stay at late at night doing checks and other things. They're even trying to backdate the way she came here. They're trying to working on the process. It's alleged, Yes. They're working on the process, the way she got here because they wasn't the right way.
Yeah.
And they're doing a whole lot of checks. They can be here up to 8, 9 o'clock working. Backdating things. I wish one of the transition team members said they find it difficult because they get access to these things. I was part of the meeting, they said that people should wait. They will do the report and submit it to them. I was part of that meeting. They said they will do the report and submit it to them. I can do a report and submit it to the transition team. When they send the transition team to the office to work alone.
When the issues of Liberia hit the news,
what is it that we, the Liberian people, want?
The Liberian communities in the diasporas are not left out. That's why Diaspora Talk is back on your screens on KMTV.
In fact, the Unity Party is not cohesive.
Be it social, political, economic, and other issues affecting Liberia and the diaspora Liberian communities.
I did not expect to even make it to Hollywood.
Join Cyrus McGee and Nathan Charles every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, live on KMTV, Facebook, and YouTube.
I want to be arrested in the midst of my people.
As they discuss the issues, blending the voices from Liberia and the diaspora Liberian communities.
The Liberian Business Association in the diaspora should be used as a vehicle for economic development in Liberia because no country can develop without a diaspora impact.
For sponsorship, call some numbers 612-806-5896, 816-433-3979, or better still, email us at usakmtv@gmail.com. Diaspora Talk.